Okay, my story is coming from AITH. Am I the asshole for telling my fiance that she's useless in an emergency and she shouldn't brag about how tough she is?
So nice. What?
Feel like it's coming towards you?
Yeah, a little bit.
I, 25, have a child named Amy, 1 female, with my fiance Jess, 24 female. We live together in one of the safest cities in the United States. About 4 months ago, Jess and I were walking home at night with Amy sleeping in her stroller. It was a suburban road that we've walked down hundreds of times. Suddenly, we heard several loud banging noises from around the corner. My first instinct was to check out where it came from, so I jogged a couple steps forward to peek and see what was going on. As it turns out, 2 teens were hitting the window of an SUV with a baseball bat. I watched them run away, get into a car, and peel out. I turn around to see Jess, but she wasn't there. I look back the way we came to see her about 50 yards away, running like her life depended on it. I called out to her a few times, but she was obviously scared out of her mind and didn't hear me. A few minutes later, I called her on her phone and she picked up. I explained it was just a couple of dumb kids with a baseball bat. Jess sheepishly walked up a few minutes later, and I couldn't help but laugh at her. She said that she grew up in a rough neighborhood, even though she didn't, and mistook the sound for gunshots. I actually grew up in a bad neighborhood, and I told her they sounded nothing like gunshots. But what really struck out to me was her first instinct in an emergency was to abandon a 9-month-old baby and her fiancé to fend for themselves as she protected her own hide. Well, last night we were watching a documentary together, and there was a scene with a woman who was frozen in terror during an animal attack. Jess scoffed and said if that were her, she would have fought back, especially if Amy was with her. I looked at her for a few seconds and said, yeah, you'd really know what you'd do. Jess insisted that she would have fought tooth and nail against any threat against her daughter, to which I responded, even a couple of kids breaking a car window with a baseball bat? Let's call it for what it is. You're kind of useless in an emergency.
Ooh, ouch.
Jess stood up, called me a dickhead, and walked away. It felt really shitty because she was victim blaming the woman in the documentary when she showed herself to be a coward of cosmic proportions. Were my words too harsh?
A little bit? I would say yes.
A little bit.
Yeah. Okay, so are you asking me what I would do in this situation?
What would you do?
What would I do? I think realistically, I would do the same thing.
You're just gonna leave me? And our baby?
No, I think I would panic though. Like, I would like to believe that I would be strong and I don't know, be brave, but I don't think I would be. And I've told you this so many times. Like, I would sacrifice myself. Like, if we were in a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, you say that, but now you're like, realistically, would I?
Like, I don't know. I don't think I would stand a chance to fight back.
What if you don't even know what you're fighting back against?
I don't know. I would be scared.
Scared of what?
I don't know.
Banging
scared
noise?
of the unknown.
A banging noise?
I want to say I hope that I would be braver than her, but I can't guarantee that.
Nope. Nobody ever knows what they'll do until they're actually in the situation.
I would hope my adrenaline would kick in, but
everybody always acts tough.
Yeah.
Tough. Top comment. If she grabbed the kid and ran, I wouldn't call her a coward. Kiddo's safety comes first. But to leave the baby? The fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. But okay, who is pushing the stroller? Because I'm picturing he was probably pushing the stroller. That's what I'm picturing. Like, if he's pushing the stroller, she's just like beside.
Okay, but even then, and he leaves the stroller there and he runs up around the corner, she's still beside the stroller.
I would assume you got the baby.
Okay, so
like, I have that much trust in you. Where if you are like physically pushing the stroller, it's your responsibility.
What if you saw me run up around the corner and then you just book it the other way?
Huh?
Like, he jogged up to the corner of the block, but she started running the other way.
I don't know what you're saying. Sorry.
In the story, they were both beside the baby,
Yeah.
and then he ran forward, and she ran backwards, the opposite direction.
Wait, he ran forward? Why?
He said he jogged up to look around the corner of the block.
Oh.
To see what it was.
Oh, and the baby was just by itself?
They both ran away from the baby at the same time.
Well, then they're both shitty. I don't know. He went to go see the problem. She ran away from the problem. Also, going towards the problem isn't very smart either, though. He could have got shot. Like, you know, like...
Well, he said he knew that it wasn't gunshots. It doesn't say who was pushing the baby.
I'm going to assume that was the case.
Probably. Her hands probably weren't on the stroller.
Yeah, which is probably why she just, like, left. But I want to give her the benefit of the doubt.
Okay, but like what like I feel like almost instantly you know whether or not your fiance and baby are running with you.
I guess. Yeah. Yeah.
You can't go more than 2 steps without knowing someone's running behind you, beside you.
Yeah, I know that's true. Okay, I changed my mind. I think I would not do this. I would go in front of you because I don't want to.
In front of me, you gotta go in front of the baby.
Well, okay, but we don't have kids, so it's hard to say.
What if we're walking he who must not be named?
Our nephew?
Yeah, unborn yet unnamed.
Well, yeah, I would protect you both. I would sacrifice myself. Say, take me.
So funny. A second ago, she's like, I would run. Our whole relationship, she's like, I would sacrifice myself for you.
No, I would. I think I actually would because...
If there's a bear in the woods, I would just let it eat me.
That's what I said. I said this a couple weeks ago. We were on a hike. I was like, babe, actually, if a bear came out right now, I would just stay there and get mauled. And he would have time to run away.
I'm like, great. So not only do I have to run away, I also have to pick her up and run carrying her. So we even both get to safety.
I just know I wouldn't stand a chance. So, and I don't want to live without you. So I would rather. Does that make me toxic?
Yes. Okay, the second comment's kind of funny. Okay. Maybe not funny, but... so the second top comment. When my mom was a kid, my grandmother accidentally started a kitchen fire and immediately abandoned her 5 kids, who were aged 0 to 7-ish, inside as she ran from the house. Luckily, everyone made it out okay, but no thanks to her, and it became a funny family story. The thing is, my granny... God love her, is a self-centered, narcissistic person, and the kitchen fire story is funny to everyone because it perfectly encapsulates the selfishness and benign neglect that her mom and her brothers were raised with. I mean, we still love her, and she's still a good grandma in some ways, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, okay. I think that's a little bit different, though, because she's by herself. It sounded like she was the only one in the house with the kids. Whereas I think this situation, maybe she just had full trust in the husband to take care of the baby.
Okay, yeah.
I think it's a little bit different. Like,
maybe
when you're by yourself in a house full of 5 kids, that's your full responsibility. You can't trust a partner or anybody to do that for you. They're helpless. They're young. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think it's a little bit different, but also at the same time, you can't just assume your partner will do the same. I don't know. That's tough. Let's move on.
Okay.